Welcome in, everybody. And this is a hell of a way to kick it off with a man who literally sent old Jolly Sick Nick on a emergency room picnic a couple of days after Christmas. He did that. And by doing so, he earned himself and his crew accolade, favoritism, whatever you want to call it. They are my team. 50 grand up in this piece. You see the accolades of this man and why he has been a staple of Frequency Pro Wrestling ever since our inception, our very first ever request done live and funky fresh for you on the channel. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you exactly why we are right here at this moment in time. You see that? Yes, it's the #1 Contender Match coming funky fresh for you right out of the Zeus's crown Championship division. The cream of the crop of the male side of things, as you see Jeffro suspending KC Reed in the air, dropping him to the ground as Killer T gets some from Big Jethro. Yeah, that's something I do around here in regards to tag teams, as you see T-Ron from Eye Candy and Jeffro from Station 6. If your tag team is not in line for a title shot, I split your team up in divisions and let them go at it for a singles goal. Hence the reason why those two gentlemen from tag teams are currently in this matchup. Killer T with the choke slam on T-Ron, giving him the business. And then he goes to give Jeffro a running lariat. Killer T in the building here in Wheeling, West Virginia. And mad apologies last week as I did not get the state right in regards to where we will be doing our performance here tonight, as a 2 count almost put Jeffro away early on in this matchup. And if you had just happened to have checked in at this moment and time, thank you first off, and help us out in the poll question by asking, or should I say answering, who you think is going to take this one home in this one and done fatal 4-way matchup here in the kickoff bout, as Killer T goes for another pinfall on Jethro. And it's all for nothing, and the crowd roars with a thunderous response. That's all of the action that is going down. T-Ron on the outside, beating the crap out of KC Reed at the moment, as Killer T is in finish off Jeffro mode, and he sets him up for the go slam. Is this it early on in this matchup? T-Ron, a former two-time Mad Hood champion, is there to break up the pinfall before Killer T could put a kibosh on this matchup. And mad gratitude to all who took the time out to put your eyes on our last live stream. Chaos Confined, it went off very well. And I like to ask, if you have not subscribed, why haven't you? I don't want to think bad of you that a lot of y'all are coming over here and stealing stuff and taking it to your own channel and using. But come on, man. Help get us to 500, because I really need to have a talk with YouTube about a couple of things. As Jeffro and Killer T are back at it again, and T-Ron and KC Reed are doing everything on the outside of the ring. Hell, I don't think that they have been inside of the ring since the bell rung. Speaking of rung bells, Killer T rung the bell of T-Ron with that kidney stick, and it has turned into outright pandemonium here in matchup number 1. Now Jethro has a weapon. It ought to be a federal law against that as he jumps it at Killer T and follows up with a clothesline as KC Reed finally gets the advantage on T-Ron, but only momentarily, as he's back in the arms of Big Jeffro from Station 6. Hell yeah, this is a way to kick it off here tonight. Wheeling, West Virginia. We're giving you the show of all shows. So just maybe you might ask us back sometime here in the near future. As Killer T with a single grip choke slam on Jeffro, and is immediately hit by Ladies Love. T-Ron Love Lady up in this piece. One half of our resident dating coaches is getting a fist of fury. And now Hot Sauce
drip.
the skull of the pretty boy T-Ron. The ladies are upset right about now that Killer T has damaged that handsome face of T-Ron, who takes exception and hops up with a sense of urgency and keys in on KC Reed. T-Ron staying on KC Reed as if he is the weakest link in this contest. With KC Reed, no slouch in the game, about to go for a pump handle slam, but T-Ron is there to reverse it into a hip toss as Killer T just hit Jeffro with the DDT and now giving him the business with a Kendo stick. And now he's in there to break up the fight between T-Ron and KC Reed, only to hit KC Reed with a tombstone pile driver, and he cannot get a pinfall attempt as T-Ron is there to stop any efforts of doing so, as Jeffro with a cover on T-Ron. Killer T returns a favor in the form of breaking up the pinfall attempt. As I stated, one and done. The first man pin is the loser in this contest, and the winner will be the #1 contender for the Zeus' Crown Championship, currently held by the Brown Phantom. As Killer T with the Gold Coast Slam on KC Reed, and Jeffro is there to help KC Reed out. Now Killer T in the loving arms of Jeffro as he's tossed over, and Jeffro is causing havoc here in matchup #1. As he's setting T-Ron up for a assisted rope choke, aka a rope lariat. And now Jeffro is about to be the #1 contender right here, right now. No, Killer T breaks it up only to receive a drop kick in the back of the skull by KC Reed. KC Reed taking a breather at the moment as Jeffro executes a spine buster on T-Ron, and T-Ron has had enough and seems to need a rest from the action, as Jeffro one more time going for a pinfall. Killer T there to break it up, and the match continues. I'm telling you, fatal four-way action in matchup number 1. This is the definition of bringing the pain early on. And as I stated, this is only matchup number 1 of tonight's festivities, as Jeffro with the elbow on Killer T. And T-Ron looks like he is in La La Land as Killer T is going to finish this one off. No, Jeffro kicks up out of it, and Killer T's frustration is beginning to show as KC Reed is getting the better of T-Ron right about this minute. Oh my goodness, minutes. That's one thing about my live streams. I don't care if I make a mistake. I'll let you know it. As KC Reed with a swinging neckbreaker on T-Ron. And just like that, it's a wrap. KC Reed, your new number 1 contender.
Here's your winner, KC Reed.
Talk about a phenomenal win. KC Reed walks up out of this one as the number 1 contender for the Zeus' Crown Championship, party people. And stick around, because we have some devastating, dazzling diva action coming up next. You want to know who it is? Then stick around for matchup number 2. What it do, matchup number 2 right here for you out of the Hellas Hybrid Championship Division. Kivana Rossetti going up against the current Hellas Hybrid Champion, Kaiba Okoye, who recently obtained her title about this time last week at Chaos Confined. And if you want to check out her championship bout that was withheld inside of a steel cage, you can check the description of this here live stream and click the link, and the timestamp is right there for you to do so. One hell of a matchup indeed, but these two right here going tooth and nail at it, as Kivana Rossetti is a former champion within the division. If you have been a casual viewer of this channel, you will know that back in late August, we suffered a setback to where our data was corrupted and we had to do a rebuild. And we had to do so in total before the shutdown of Community Creations for this installment of the game. And in doing so, we morphed the former She-Devils Championship into the current Hellas Hybrid Championship. And that is one hot division, to say the least. And I ain't talking about the looks of the ladies and how shapely they are. I'm talking about the competition, damn it. As a chair being used as a surface to fall on after that net breaker from Kivana Rossetti, and now the face of Kaiba Okoye hits the table as well. Kivana going with a capper on this one. And it is only a 2 count here in matchup number 2. In fact, the next 2 matchups will include divas, and they are champions to boot. So stick around if you want to see some gorgeous looking women with some gorgeous belts around their waists. Then stick in for these next two matchups coming up after this one. As the action has spilled to the outside of the ring, Kivana Rossetti still with the advantage over the champion, Kaiba Okoye, in this non-title matchup. And as we did our rebuild, we're coming up with new rules, and another rule that we're going to implement around here is that Beat My Champ challenges only are redeemable if it is a inner divisional matchup. No more cross divisional matchups that'll earn you a shot at the big title. You gotta earn it the hard way, big baby, like the champions did that are currently holding their titles, as Kivana with another pinfall attempt, only resorting in a 1 count. And we rock on in this one. Help us out in the chat by answering the poll question. Which diva is going to take this one home? Is it going to be the champ, or is it going to be her challenger, Kivana Rossetti? And thank you once again, Wheeling, West Virginia, for letting us put our face into place. Get your mind out of the gutter. Kaiba Okoye with a rope-assisted powerbomb on Kivana. Only a 1 count. As the two-time divisional champ has turned the tide on her competitor at the current moment, and is doing a little bit of damage to her as Kivana's slow to get up. And Kaiba is relentless on issuing out the punishment and staying on her rival. In fact, Kaiba was the one who disarmed Kivana from the former She Devils title before she went on to reign for about 2.5 months before losing to Disarray. As a fireman's carry, swinging slam being applied, and yes, party people, it is a wrap here in matchup number 2.
Here is your winner, Kaiba Okoye.
Giving you a full-on display as to why she is a 2-time divisional champion up in this house. Stay tuned, party people, because as I stated earlier in this matchup, we got some more divas coming up. If you fancy looking at female fights, then you are in the place to be as we get ready and get set for matchup number 3 here on Whoop Ass Wednesday, brought to you by Frequency Pro Wrestling.
This is a DJ Soul Search production.
All right, party people, on your feet to the beat in matchup number 3. Cross-divisional matchup between the Sirens Champion and Mariska out of our elemental division. The big woman coming out first with a bit of offense on the champ. But the champ not backing down, in fact breaking her down with a spear. And now has gained control of this matchup. If you are just tuning in, Do us a favor here by helping us out with the free stuff, the liking, the sharing, and the subbing, and the engagement in the poll questions that pop up throughout the matchup. Mason with an armbar on Mariska as the match has spilled to the floor. And she's wrenching at the neck of Mariska, a.k.a. the big woman. Every time she is in the ring, I channel my inner Tormund from Game of Thrones, how he was with Brienne of Tarth. That's how I am about Mariska, the big woman. If the big woman ain't there, I ain't going. Up in this piece as she measures Mason up with an elbow. And she has quickly slowed it down to her type of matchup, ground and pound. As you see right there, as she thrusts the Sirens Champion into the ring post and now going for the neck area. As Mason was going against her earlier on in the contest. A quick counter by the champion, who downs the big woman enough for her to get some punches in on that gorgeous face of Mariska. Hold up a second, out of nowhere, a flip. A change in direction, and now the big woman is spinning the champion around like a helicopter blade. And she looks to be in the driver's seat in this one. Back and forth, it has gone ever since the bell sound, as Mariska goes for a pinfall attempt on Mason Harris. Only a 1 count. Gotta do a little bit more to get her up out the door as she roars to the crowd. As she gets ready and set to hit Mason Harris with the Moscow plow and goes for the pinfall attempt to no avail. Only thing she got was a 2 count. Out of all of that power and that strength, gonna have to do a little bit more to put away the Sirens Champion, who goes back to the punches and let Mariska know how she feels about her face. The champion coming out with reckless abandon, issuing out punishment on the big woman. Actually, it's very much impressive as to how she's whipping her around as if she's only like 5 pounds soaking wet with boots on. She is absolutely bringing it to the big woman, who is currently on a 2-match losing streak. And if it keeps going the way that it's going, it's going to be a 3-match losing streak. As the champion stretches Mariska via chicken wing and goes for a pinfall attempt to a count. We still have a bout in progress. Almost enough to put away Mariska. But as one wise man once said, close only counts in horse, shoes, and hand grenades, and 12 gauges. Anyway, Mariska coming back with a flurry of offense and literally has a champ on the ropes and is setting her up to bring her back in a barbaric fashion as she goes for a pinfall attempt. Gotta love when girls get gutter. And trust me, if you want to have your fill of eye candy, and I'm not talking our tag team hunks of humanity, I'm talking about the women on this roster. You got another one coming up out of our Elementals Championship division as a non-title matchup between Nurse Red and Akira Okoye is going down after this one. STO And now Mariska is grabbing at her arms after that exchange. And like I said before, she is being thrown around at the behest of Mayshawn Harris, the current Sirens Women's Champ. Definitely showing you why she is the champion. And while we're speaking about her being champion, she recently acquired that championship last week at Chaos Confined. And evidently, it must have lit a fire underneath her. And she is definitely showing you why she is holding that title. And if you want to check out that matchup, you can click the link in the description followed by the timestamp of that said match. And you can see how Mayshawn conquered them all and became the newly crowned Sirens Women's Champion. As Mariska in, and we're up to a 9 count. And Mayshawn barely answers before the 10 count. Mariska was hoping to get a ring out. Anything to get her back into her winning ways. As stated before, 2-match win streak as a chicken wing into a face buster as Mayshawn goes to put a cork on this one. She can't do it. It is only a 2 count. Mayshawn wasting valuable time. Could have been executing more moves to try to put her challenger away. But instead, she chose to give it to the crowd. And now momentum is in the favor of the big woman with a power slam off of the ropes. As it looks to be setting her up one more again for a second dose of the Moscow Plow. Is this it for the big woman to finish off the Sirens Women's Champ? Yes, indeed it is, as Mariska snaps her 2-match win streaks and get one on Mayshawn Harris. Too bad this is not a Beat My Champ challenge. They do not apply in interdivisional matchups as of late. As of earlier tonight, damn it. Yeah, like I said, if you want to have your feel of girlies getting gutter, female fist fights, and divas duking it out, will stick around for our next contest. Nurse Red against Akira Okoye. All right, everybody on your feet to this one indeed. Nurse Red awaits her competitor as she comes in at 15-7 on the solo tip. And here she is, the cream of the crop of the Divas division. The Elementals division to be exact. Taking center stage.
And from Kansas City, Missouri, the Action Zone Women's Champion, Akira Okoye.
Yes, Akira Okoye is in the house. Current reign as champion 69 days. The last time she was in action, she extended her win streak to 3 matches by defeating Jay Quinn. Here for you in matchup number 4. We got this one and one more, and then we out the door. Can't believe that it went so swiftly. Oh, ain't it funny how time flies when you're having fun, big baby, as the bell tolls, and we about to get in to some fun as these two divas commence to duking it out here in matchup number 4. Akira showing you why she has that win streak going, as she's showing you the feminine physique while she's flexing over an immobilized Nurse Red military press, and about to give her a taste of the canvas and off of the ropes, and a dose of the big splash, trying to take the wind out of Nurse Red here in the early going, looking to try to finish her off by going to the top rope. And she misses everything as Nurse Red with a counter to the gut and responds with a basement DDT on the Elementals champion. A miss with a roundhouse, but she still gets enough off the hitter with an RKO. Akira, quick response to the bit of offense Nurse Red is issuing out, and back into another military press, showing the crowd that yes, I am the champion, and this is why I am the Elementals champion here in match number 4, big baby. And in regards to our month ender, you might as well book this one in the cards, as Nurse Red has invoked her rematch clause, and I am setting these two up in the match of all matches to see who is the greatest between the two. As another dose of the military press, and drops her again to the floor, and goes to put this one away. Only a 1 count. That's right, party people. 1 match booked already, and we still have 3 weeks to go before our month ender in March, Fixation. And if you stay in tune with the channel and keep your eyeballs on us, we will have that thumbnail up ready for you way before the 28th, so you can set your bell notifications, because you wouldn't want to miss the month ending Vega card Fixation. STO slam to the mat by Akira, and it looks like we're going to use Nurse Red as a set of weights again. And another drop to the canvas by the champion. Absolutely owning Nurse Red at this point of the matchup. And back to the unfriendly skies, and down with a body splash on her competitor. Man, it's just an unsightly sight to see Nurse Red getting brought to her like this. But this is why Akira Okoye is the #1 diva on our brand, as she has taken on all challengers in her weight, and hits Nurse Red with a discus punch, and now channeling her inner animal spirit in keeping Nurse Red down. This is absolutely unbelievable to see Nurse Red getting done like this in such a fashion. Akira with a big last ride and going for a pinfall attempt. Yo, just like that, it's a wrap. Akira Okoye over Nurse Red here in matchup number 4.
Here is your winner, Akira Okoye.
Akira comes in and raises the frequency here in the match before our main event, party people. And while you at it, yes, keep your frequency up to the maximum. Why? Because we have us a fatal four-way matchup out of the Stormbreakers division. What's it for? You'll find out if you stick around to see as we get into tonight's main event. All right, everybody. Fatal four-way action for us here in the main event.
Making his way to the ring, representing the Chick Magnets from Miami, Florida, weighing in at 228 pounds, Champ
One half of our dating coaches in the building last time we saw him was on the 12 days of Christmas Wrestling Extravaganza, where him and his buddies came out on top, and they are the #1 contenders for the Brotherhood Championship. Champ has not had any solo titles to claim as his own, but he has been a two-time Midwest Tag Team Co-Champion. You saw his homeboy, his ace, earlier on. And now here's the other half of the hunks of humanity known as Eye Candy. Get your feel, ladies.
DJ Soul Search production.
and his opponents. First, from Springfield, Illinois, weighing in at 220 pounds, Gary Gang R.
Gary Gamer coming in at 7 wins, 9 losses. And a couple of weeks ago, he was also in another #1 contenders bout where W.A.W was pinned and Jayden Tomahawk went on to Chaos Confined to go up against the Demon. If you want to see that matchup, go back to this thumbnail and check it out, as it was match #2 of last week's festivities.
City, Kansas, weighing in at 228 pounds, the King, Charles Race.
Charlie Race in the building, 15-15, coming into this one. And the last time he was in action was on 4-Star Friday on our Kick channel, where he went up against a local talent. He almost fell in that one. The unnamed character gave Charlie everything he could handle in that one, but as you saw, he pulled out the victory, bringing his record to 500. Interesting thing about Charlie is he currently holds a contract for the Zeus's Crown Championship, but yet he is in the Stormbreaker division. As the crowd is in awe, what's wrong with you? You've never seen a king before? Bow down in the presence of greatness. What are you standing up for? You should be kissing this ring right about now. As the King, looming presence, fills up the gymnasium. Competitor number 4 is about to make his way into the fold.
Representing the Wild Samoans from Wichita, Kansas, weighing in at 228 pounds, King Wildman.
One half of the Wild Vibes coming into the ring. D. Wildman in the building. And as you saw earlier and right now, he was the one that actually took the pinfall in that number 1 contenders bout last month. Brother of Kenny Wildman, D. Wildman, a former Call Valley Tag Team Co-Champion. But as I stated earlier on in the live stream, if your team is not up for a title shot, then you and your partner get split in different divisions where you can go for singles gold until such time as your team finds itself in a position to contend for the Brotherhood Tag Team Championship, currently held by the Atari Brothers. This one is going to be one for the Record Party people, and I'm glad you're here. And once again, thank you, Wheeling, West Virginia, for having us. Everything goes right. Hopefully, we will be back to do another show for you. Get ready and get set, because this one has big implications, as it is a very high-stakes matchup indeed. In fact, these 4 competitors are together because it is that's right, Stormbreaker's division number 1 contenders matchup. And this one is an elimination style, unlike the first one that kicked off the festivities here tonight. As Wildman and Gary Gamer are hooked up, and Gary tries to go for a pinfall early off in this one, and Charlie and Champ are going at each other. Champ with a kendo stick and introducing it to the head of the King. And he looks to be going for a pinfall attempt to try to get him up out of here, and nothing gained out of that attempt. Gary definitely bringing it to D. Wildman as he goes for another shot at pinning him. 1 count only. Gary Gamer once respected, but that is no more, as he is almost at 500, coming in here at 7-9. And ever since that moment that he was disrespected, he's been slowly gathering it up, says his competitors in the locker room. 4 competitors in a Stormbreaker's number 1 contenders match, and it is even thus far. Who's gonna win this? We will find out when we come back for the second half of this number 1 contenders bout after this brief commercial, non-commercial break.
Before the Eye Candy Academy, I had no game. Now I make eye contact for at least 3 seconds. Thanks to coaches Champ and Tyron, I'm a high value man. Long live the Academy.
This is Real Talk Rita, and we are having a sale. Today's likes are free, so do our channel a solid and hit the like man.
This is Quincy Kareem, and you're watching Frequency Pro Wrestling on Vic Vegas Game Station, the home where every view is viral.
All right, party people, we are live and direct back to you once again for the second part of this matchup. And do like Real Talk Rita say and hit the like man as Charlie Race going for a pinfall on Champ, and D.Wildman has a table that he wants to introduce to somebody's face, and do that he does, and immediately goes for a pinfall attempt on Charlie. And it's only a 1 count as Gary Cole Cox Champ a couple of times with that steel chair that he's wielding. And he's given it, or had given it, to everyone except for Charlie, who catches him and hits him with the fisherman's suplex. Almost had Gary Gamer back in the showers, reflecting on the mistakes he's made. Anyhow, a pinfall in the corner. And ladies, your handsome hunk of humanity champ has been eliminated by D.Wildman, who grabs Charlie and introduces him to the steel steps. D.Wildman on fire, trying to do a reverse curtain call of how he ended up the last time he was in this position to be the #1 contender for the Stormbreaker Championship. As he is hulking up, powering up, Gary flings him halfway across the gymnasium. And now Gary and Charlie get into it, and Gary had a inner strength channeling moment, and he walks right into what it seems to be a chicken wing driver by D.Wildman. But he's interrupted by Charlie and can't finish the job. Hold up a skin it. He goes in on a lying down Gary Gamer, who was staring up at the stars, and Gary is no longer a participant in this matchup. Gary and Champ sent to the back by D.Wildman, who is now in a one-on-one competition with the king himself, Charlie Race. As Charlie going for the neck area of D.Wildman, and he looks to be sizing him up for that headbutt of his, and he delivers it in an emphatic fashion and goes for a pinfall attempt on D.Wildman. Almost had him up out of here. The king not feeling that, as he's hit with a chin check by D.Wildman. And now D.Wildman is getting ready to give him a dose of a chicken wing power slam, as he slaps the king down and goes for a pinfall attempt. Only a 2 count. This one is going down to the wire indeed. 1 half of the Wild Vibe going against the king himself, who is gonna prevail in this matchup, as Wildman perched up on the top turnbuckle and hits Charlie with a double axe handle, and it goes for a pinfall attempt. Referee out of position, and I'd be upset too, D.Wildman, if I were you. Why in the hell was he on the other side of the gymnasium when a pinfall is clearly being attempted in another spot? Why wasn't he right up on the action, damn it? Hold on a minute. Hot sauce from the head of D.Wildman. Now he looks to be in agony after Charlie Race has opened him up. And now Charlie doing his kingly duties with that baseball bat as he's beating down Wildman and mows him down with a shoulder block. And Charlie looks to be in control of the match and about to finish D.Wildman off. right after that incident that made him spill hot sauce, W.A.W has not had any offense since before then, as Charlie off of the middle rope with a headbutt on him. And now the King is lying in wait for W.A.W to get up so he can hit him with this patented fisherman's driver and go for a pinfall attempt. And just like that, party people, it's a wrap. Charlie Race is the #1 contender for the Stormbreakers Championship. Wouldn't it be great for you to be the king, or should I say, isn't it great to be the king? As this man is the #1 contender for the Stormbreaker Championship, and he also holds an open contract for the Zeus's Crown Championship as well. One hell of a way to put a cork in it, wouldn't you think, party people? And as the music rolls, thank you for rocking with us, rolling with us, tuning in, viewing us, whatever, however you define it. Thank you for being here tonight. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here to watch these four behemoths beat the dog crap out of each other in our main event. And stick around, because on our departure, we're going to hit you with a closing promo. It's going to give you a bit of information as to what is to come here on Frequency Pro Wrestling. Until then, or should I say until the credits roll into the outro, we will see you this time next week here on this same channel. Peace!